Do you like the Icebox Radio Theater? If so, please stay tuned after this episode for a special announcement from Jeff.
Good morning, Icebox. It's October 30th, 2017, the day before All Hallows Eve.
Halloween to you and me.
Good morning, Abby.
Good morning, Cody. What's on the docket this fine morn?
We've got a look-in with the local Wicca Society. They're not happy again.
Just like the Evangelical Church in International Falls around Christmas.
Exactly. But plenty of community events. I'll look at news headlines and more right after this.
Hi, it's me again, Woody. Now, I know I haven't been on the radio much this summer, but you get busy, you know? So quit complaining all the time. So I shut the store down for 6 weeks. So what? Man's got a right to fish, doesn't he? That was a good summer. Got me a trophy walleye, 3 big northern I beat to death and threw back into the lake. Geez, I hate northern pike like I hate Hitler. It's hard to explain it. Anyway, we're open again. With firearm deer season coming up, we got all you need, except rifles, of course. The wife thinks terrorists will break in if we sell them, so order them online for all I care. But we got the rest. Deer stink, sights, ammo, everything you need. But if you need beer for the shack, come back after business hours. State says I'm not supposed to sell that anymore.
Woody's Bait Shop and Guide Service on Beach Avenue in Icebox. Open alternating Tuesdays, 1 to 5.
And no light beer this year. I mean, come on, what's the point?
Woody's! Good to have Woody back.
I know exactly what you mean. My last check bounced too, and I wrote it.
Should we be talking about this on the air?
Absolutely not. Weather?
Yes, we have some.
And what might it be?
You sure you want to know?
Well, that's an interesting question because everyone wants to know until you tell them, and then they're mad about it. That's why I gave you the weather forecast.
Thank you so much.
Here's our meteorologist, Cody, with his predictions for today's weather. Cody?
You're evil.
You want me to read your forecast, Cody?
No, I got it. Fine. It's going to be cooler and rainy tonight.
Oh, that's a shame.
Showers on Halloween with a high temperature of about 42.
Oh.
Trick-or-treating looks to be a little damp this year. Overnight on the 31st, expect rain and 38.
Why do you do that to the kids, Cody? It's so mean.
36 currently in Icebox, 37 up the road in International Falls, 3 above in Fort Francis. If you're headed to the cities, it's currently 45 degrees. They're expecting a high in the low 50s today.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Well, just think of it as my Halloween prank.
It's not Halloween yet.
But it is Radio Panic Day. On this date in 1938, Orson Welles terrified the nation with his famous War of the Worlds broadcast.
And Dr. Graves of the Gravediggers Hour will be along a little later to talk to us about a special Halloween broadcast feature on our station tomorrow night.
But next up, it's the news, right after this.
The witching hour is nearly upon us, and everything is half off at Icebox's original pop-up store, Frightland. That's right, the parking lot next to the Opera House has been transformed into a bizarre bazaar with spectacular savings on all your holiday needs. Dismembered limbs, more than half off. Severed heads rolling out the door at 30% of retail. And tonight only, all sexy witch costumes will be split in half. And the morning of All Saints' Day, everything needs to clear out to make way for Santa's Manger of Wonder pop-up store. So get down here now for all your holiday savings before it dies away.
Time now for news headlines on Radio Icebox. This is Hey Would You Buzz Off reporting. Security-minded citizens in our community have announced their intention to put a damper on any illicit activities this Halloween. Connor Cornville, founder and CEO of Safe Icebox Incorporated, said in a recent interview that the importance of safety cannot be diminished this time of year. They're going to soap your windows and put flaming dog poop on your front step if you're not careful. Every year on Halloween, millions of dollars in damage happens around the country, and you can prevent it all with just a small fee paid today. When it was pointed out to Connorville that the Icebox itself had no reports of vandalism for over 10 years, Connorville reiterated that Halloween is dangerous and everyone needs to buy one of his safety packages before the 31st financing available. The Wilson's Pumpkin Patch out Highway 8 has been selected by a Twin Cities cult as the location for their ritual sacrifice this Halloween. The Church of the Great Pumpkin, which believed the secondary plot from the iconic Charlie Brown cartoon about Linus waiting for a mythical figure in the world's most sincere pumpkin patch, is actually a little-known offshoot of Zoroastrianism. The group plans to dress there as Linus or Sally, depending on their individual presence, sit in the Wilson's Patch, and carve pumpkins while chanting, "Be gone, deceiver Snoopy," until the aforementioned deity appears. Though the group does admit they have never actually seen the Great Pumpkin, they are sure it's just waiting until they find a really sincere pumpkin patch to appear. But the group does ask that you bring LED tea lights and not actual candles to light their ritual gourds. That's jack-o'-lanterns to you and me.
Okay, we've had a lot of requests to include more local musicians in the morning show, so there you go. That was Sloghgrass, the family bluegrass band from just up the road in Birchdale. We're joined in the studio now by a great friend of Radio Icebox, the host of the Gravediggers Hour, heard Monday nights at 10. It's Roger Graves. Doctor, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Abby. It's very good to be here.
I was trying to remember how long you've been doing the Gravediggers Hour, and I simply couldn't. Isn't that weird?
I can't remember either, but I have a lot of missing time.
Right. Well,
A lot of missing time.
right. Me too, come to think of it. Well, as someone who does ghost stories for our station, is Halloween a special time of year for you?
Oh, yes. All Hallows Eve is truly the best time of year for stories where people get murdered.
I don't follow.
Well, in the traditional Samhain festival, this is the day that the veil between the living and the dead is thinnest. So any story about unnatural death fits best in this time of year because the trip is so short.
The trip?
From this world to the next. Honestly, I wouldn't want to murder anyone on Halloween. With a little help from a medium, the police could simply ask the dead man who killed him. Open and shut case.
Right. But you're actually not doing a ghost story this Halloween, right?
Well, that's correct. I decided to do my own special tribute to the greatest radio broadcast of all time. And by the greatest, I mean the one that scared the most people.
You're talking, of course, about...
War of the Worlds. Yes, 1938. And Orson Welles creates a version of the H.G. Wells story told as fake news broadcasts, which people took to be factual. There was panic everywhere, all over the country, and it launched Orson's career into the stratosphere.
And you're planning to do a recreation?
No, just a story about aliens probing people.
I see.
Wells's War of the Worlds was frightening because of the war scare going on. We don't have that at the moment. We have a terror scare, but that's difficult to weave into fiction. Too random. But people are always scared of being invaded, especially in the privacy of their own bedrooms. Sex and death, you know. Very powerful combination.
What's your story called?
Visitation, and I'm very excited. I think we've done a wonderful job with the production, and we're going to scare the pants off everyone. Sex and death, remember.
What's the story about?
A visitation, or perhaps several. We're being very coy on that point, I'm afraid. Whatever the case, I think it's a story everyone can enjoy.
That's Visitation on Radio Icebox Halloween?
Yes, Halloween night at 10 p.m.
Radio Icebox will return right after this. It can be in the sound of the orchestra preparing, or in the sound of a sculptor working in stone, or even in the sound of laughter from inside a theater. It is the sound of art being created, and for over 3 decades, the sound of art being created has rung loud and clear in northeastern Minnesota. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council has been encouraging local arts development in northeastern Minnesota through grants and services for over 35 years. Every year, they give out more than $500,000 to local artists and arts organizations, and that helps create $40 million in revenue and jobs created. To find out more about our arts programs or how you can get involved, visit aracouncil.org. The Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, where the arts flourish, you thrive.
Abby? Oh, hi, Sam.
Cody, come in a second, would you?
What's going on?
Just come in and close the door.
Sure.
We had something delicate to ask.
Are you sleeping with Jennifer again?
Okay, maybe not so delicate.
This is your business. How?
We're just trying to figure out what's going on around here.
I thought we agreed to give up doing that.
We did, but things are complicated by our friends from the national media.
You're worried about those reporters?
Of course we're worried about the reporters. There's a lot of things that happen in town that we'd like to keep, in town.
Secret?
Exactly. Now we've got these characters from public radio wanting to uncover everything.
Actually, I think they're just trying to find out who killed JJ.
Nobody killed JJ.
Tell the reporter that. She's betting on murder. Makes a better story.
I would think public radio would be a little more professional.
They're not public radio per se. They're a podcast produced by a public radio station.
They're a what?
Podcast. You got to get out of town more, Sam.
Oh, well, whatever they are, they're asking questions. They're interviewing people, and I'd like all of that to stop.
They're mostly harmless.
They're harassing your grandfather, you know.
They are?
Yes. That Diana woman has decided Major's behind everything, and they're staking out his house.
He can handle it.
He's pretty stressed out. He's seriously talking about digging a secret tunnel from his place to our basement.
Yeah, but to be fair, he's been talking about doing that for decades.
I think it's time we got a little proactive on this thing. That's where Jennifer comes in.
What about Jennifer?
It's weird.
What's weird?
It's weird that Jennifer is here in town working for these people. Isn't she a spy or something?
There's a theory about that.
What?
You know how when the president got elected, he threatened to cut public radio's funding?
Yes.
He gave them money under the table, and in return, they have to do domestic surveillance. They just call it journalism.
That whole notion makes me queasy, and I don't know exactly why.
You don't?
I worked in law enforcement during the Patriot Act, remember?
The point is, Cody, Sam and I have been arguing about whether or not we can trust Jennifer, and we do trust her.
Do we?
We're talking about the woman who led our mission to the prison rock and brought Cody back alive, and sealed that particular rift forever.
Yeah, nice summing up for the audience.
Well, thank you.
But we're also talking about the woman who is known to be a shadowy government agent who would lie to us whenever it serves her purpose.
Well, if that doesn't bother Cody, it shouldn't bother us.
That's not quite the way it is. I don't give her the chance to lie.
What does that mean?
I make sure we never talk about anything that would tempt her to lie.
Peace. I'll stop your mouth with a kiss.
Shakespeare?
Much ado about nothing, which I fear is not an apt description of our present situation. Here's the rub.
The what?
Here's the problem. What do you think Jennifer and her little junior journalism crew is here to find out?
I don't know.
They are harassing Grandpa a lot. Maybe it has something to do with one of his machines.
Maybe the interdimensional travel device JJ had him destroy?
No, I don't think that's what they're looking for.
Why not?
I just don't think Jennifer would let them get close to her real reason for being here.
Her real reason?
Yeah. The radio people don't know who she really is. They just think of her as an engineer. And they're focused on JJ's disappearance, which I don't think is really a mystery. Whatever Jennifer's here investigating, she probably wants those reporters far away from it.
Which leaves us with no real idea what she's investigating.
And you haven't just asked her why she's here?
Like I said, that just gives her an opportunity to lie.
Wow, you two have an interesting relationship.
We do. We really do.
So you don't know why she's in town? Not for sure, I mean.
Nope. Just theories.
Because you don't want to ask her because you figure she'll just lie to you.
That's about the size of it.
Okay. Well, we all know what comes next. We need to find out more about why Jennifer's in town.
Okay. How?
I think you should just ask.
Oh! Whoa!
What did you...
A little trick I picked up in Peru.
Hi, sweetie. I didn't tell them anything.
Hello, Sparky. And I know.
Seriously, how did you get into this room?
How do you know I wasn't here all along?
Because, well...
I apologize for the dramatic entrance. It was necessary.
What's up?
I need your help. Did Cody tell you why I'm hanging out with those radio people?
So you weren't here the whole time?
Be that as it may, did he tell you?
They're supposed to be spies?
Something like that. Our new commander-in-chief likes making deals with people.
It all sounds unconstitutional.
Oh, it is. In so many ways. Luckily, spying and reporting are actually pretty different. This new crew is not going to uncover any moles in the State Department or plots to overthrow the president.
Are you sure? I mean, that Diana lady seemed pretty sharp.
She is, but she's a reporter. She's looking for a story that people will want to hear. Spies look for the state secrets, which are generally not what people want to hear.
I'd like to hear some.
That's because you think it's like in the movies. Honestly, most espionage isn't that interesting.
Really?
I once spent a month determining whether or not New Zealand was falsifying sheep reports.
Our government spent money on that?
If a certain blight had gotten into our domestic flock, it could have cost tens of millions of dollars.
Okay, point taken. Spying is boring.
So boring.
Well, then why are you here exactly?
Remember what I said?
It's okay, Sparky. I heard what you said.
Oh.
And I don't blame you for thinking, I'll lie if I have to. I will lie.
Are you lying now?
Are you asking if I'm lying when I say I will lie if I have to?
Well, yes, I mean... wait.
Maybe I should just tell you why I'm here.
Yeah, do that.
It's about last year and what Major was doing with that certain device.
Oh, you know about that?
We don't know enough. You guys need to verify some things for me.
We don't want to get Grandpa in trouble.
Neither do I. Honestly, I have people above me that think I'm a little too close to all of you, too emotionally attached. It's in my best interest that Major is proven safe and sane.
Do some people above you think otherwise?
Several. So with that in mind, I need your help determining exactly what happened last spring.
Does this have something to do with JJ?
You tell me.
I've already told you everything we know. He left a voicemail, then disappeared.
Then I want to find him.
Well, join the club.
I should clarify. I want to find him because I don't think he would leave this place without a very good reason. To figure out what happened, I need to talk to him.
What do your superiors think happened?
They've not felt the need to tell me that, but I have my theories. We know Major was messing around with an interdimensional device of some sort, and we know it was having an effect on the fabric of space and time around here.
The ducks?
Were there ducks? Oh, those readings make sense now.
If you know that much, what do you need us for?
Because of what happened last May. We were monitoring Major's activities, getting nervous about them.
Us too.
Then things began to heat up. It was looking like we would have to intervene. Then everything stopped.
Stopped?
All activity. Everything shut down. The fabric of space-time seemed to right itself. Major even dismantled all the equipment. And all this happened right around the time that JJ leaves, which, incidentally, went against type for him.
What do you mean?
I wrote up a profile on JJ. In it, I estimated that odds of him leaving Icebox to be about 30 to 1 against. It just wasn't like him to leave like that.
We felt that way too.
Hang on. Have you written profiles for all of us?
No, just JJ.
Guys, remember what I said earlier about asking her certain questions?
Right. So, you need to figure out what happened.
That's right.
And you need our help to do that.
I need Major's cooperation, which will be easier to get with your help.
Hang on. I have a question. What exactly are you doing with this radio crew?
As little as possible.
But they're spies, right?
Calling them spies would be offensive to spies everywhere. Their being here gives me an excuse to be here and figure out what's going on.
But what are they going to be doing in the meantime? Are they going to be digging around looking for stories?
It's nothing I can't handle.
I hope so, because we got some things we'd like to keep covered up.
Hear, hear.
And these aren't boring government secrets either. We got some pretty major sci-fi stuff going on I think a radio crew would be interested in.
Like what exactly?
You know, stuff.
Cody?
Jennifer, whatever it is I'm talking about, you probably know about already.
Not necessarily. We've kept the town under surveillance, that's true. But some of the data makes no sense.
We will help you in that regard as much as we can.
As much as you can?
Right.
That makes it sound like there's some things you're not willing to help me with.
If you're going to be cagey with us, we're going to be cagey with you.
If I'm going to be cagey, it's for your own protection.
How about everybody just calm down?
It's okay. It's all right. Jennifer, we'll be honest with you. I promise.
So you tell me, for example, if there was a creature from another dimension living here in town.
What makes you say that?
Is there?
Is there what?
Is there a creature from another dimension living here in town?
I think that depends
No.
on...
What?
No, there is not anyone from another dimension living here in town. Not that we know of, anyway.
I see.
Do you want to talk about Grandpa now? You said something about needing our help.
Okay. Yes. I think I need you as backup.
But again, what about this radio crew?
I'll do everything I can to keep them distracted until I talk to Major.
Where are they, by the way?
I sent them out to do some research without me. I'm hoping it'll keep them busy long enough for the meeting.
You want to see him tonight?
If possible, yes. This is important. Will you back me up if I go to Major?
We can't promise he'll talk to you, you know?
I know. It's just the next thing I need to do. We should hurry. I don't know how long Diane and Nedly are going to stay distracted.
Nedly?
The producer. He's difficult.
This is stupid.
Jennifer told us this was the place to look.
I know she said it was the place to look. It's the fact that we're looking at all that bothers me. I mean, really. Monsters.
She didn't say there were monsters.
She did say there were monsters. We're not the X-Files, Diana. We're journalists.
Then why did you agree to come?
What?
You're the producer. Why did you agree to come into the woods if you didn't want to?
Because... I don't know.
Exactly.
Because I needed a job. There, I said it.
We still have jobs.
You're so naive.
I am the #1 investigative reporter in public radio, and you're my producer. We are going to have jobs for the foreseeable future.
Then why are we making a podcast?
What?
Why are we making a podcast? Why isn't this story going to be broadcast on the network?
Podcasting is the future.
Podcasting is where they send paranormal crap stories to fester and die. I've covered 4 elections. 4! I should be in D.C. trying to figure out the president's next move, and instead I'm stuck in the middle of Squirrel Scat, Minnesota, looking for creatures.
Jennifer said it was important.
And that's another thing. Who is this Jennifer?
I don't know that you've noticed, but she's easily the best engineer we've ever worked with.
But where did she come from? Where did she work before? I mean, come on, Diana. You know how PRN works. We're one big incestuous family.
Ugh, charming.
You know what I mean. Everyone we work with came from some other network station filled with people we've worked with. The only new people you ever see are college kids biding their time until they get into television. Engineers just don't drop out of the sky.
What's your very belabored point exactly?
Just this. I don't know Jennifer. I don't trust Jennifer. And if you were half the reporter I thought you were, you wouldn't have followed her advice and come traipsing out into the woods after monsters.
She never said there were monsters.
She said there was a being that would help us understand what happened to our Vic.
I wish you wouldn't call him that.
What, we're not hoping he's a victim now?
You're jumping to conclusions. We don't know where Jasper is or what happened to him.
But you said he'd been murdered.
I said it would make a great story if he'd been murdered. I wasn't hoping for it. Exactly. As far as I know, he's not a victim of anything.
I hate these freaking podcasts.
What is that supposed to mean?
Podcasting is ruining our work.
I had to ask.
Back in the day, you had to prove your story had merit before you even went into the field, and then you had to tell it in 3 minutes to get it on the air. It was an art. It required discipline. Now it's 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 93.5 minutes. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. Go on some wild goose chase so long as it's human and real.
Are you done?
Not nearly, but I'm too depressed to go on. And another thing.
I thought you were too depressed to go on.
And another thing. Remember when we used to be paid to do this? To investigate things?
We're going to get paid.
We're going to get paid if we file and not paid if we don't.
Why are you complaining so much? Is it because of your allergies?
No, not entirely.
Take the allergy pill, Nedly.
Whenever I do that, I take 6-hour naps in the middle of the afternoon.
Yes, and it's wonderful.
Don't change the subject. You know the problem.
I do.
There's no way you're that thick. The problem is we have to file, Diana, and we have to come up with a story to get paid.
So
we might as well be working for cable news. What if there isn't a story? What if we're just walking through the woods, wasting our time?
Then we'll file a story about that.
Come on, you see this?
Fine, yes, I see it.
Thank you.
When you're forced to file a story, you're going to come up with something, no matter what's actually going on.
Yes, exactly.
But that's how the business has worked for a century.
It's not how public radio worked. That was the whole point. Real news. Honest news. You could pursue a story, and if there wasn't anything to it, it was still valuable to know that. You'd still get a paycheck at the end of the month, even if nothing got on the air.
I know.
Now here we are, toting around cheap equipment that kids can afford with their allowance, looking for a story that probably isn't there. Monsters.
She never said monsters. She said being.
Have you ever interviewed a being before?
What?
Have you ever interviewed a being? I've interviewed sources, people, officials. I've interviewed politicians, law enforcement, witnesses, victims, criminals. Hell, once I even interviewed a dog. But I've never in all my years interviewed a being.
So?
So it's weird. Why did she use that word?
I don't know. That's why I'm in the woods, to find out.
What are we doing here, Diana?
I told you I'm here to find a source.
No, I mean, here in this town. I mean, it is mildly interesting. This little town. No internet, no TV. They still listen to radio drama. That's cool. But it's hardly worth our time.
What about the guy who went missing?
There's no indication of foul play. He left a message and said goodbye. So what? People do it all the time. What made us think he was missing?
What made you think, you mean?
What?
I asked what made you think he was missing. This story was your idea.
No, it wasn't.
What?
It was not my idea, this story. Wasn't it yours?
No, it wasn't my idea.
Well, then whose idea was it?
Jennifer. She came to you first, right?
Right, and she told me she had a new assignment from the digital desk.
That's what she told me, too. Did you think to check with the desk?
Of course not. It was an assignment. I just packed a bag and went.
Oh, me too. So, we don't know who Jennifer is, where she came from, and it turns out we don't really know anything about this assignment.
Yeah, except that it's probably a wild goose chase.
Probably? I'd go certainly.
You're right.
Okay, I'm less certain now.
What was that?
Something's moving in that thicket.
Is it a being?
How should I know? I don't even know what a being looks like.
What do we do?
I don't know. Investigate?
Can we do that from here?
No, we'll have to go over there.
Then I vote we get out of here immediately.
Way ahead of you!
What? Diana, wait! Wait! My asthma!
Jennifer is back in town. That is good news. I must ask the doctor about it immediately.
Service is coming to you live from the shores of the North Sea. Radio Herne Bay is now on the air, bringing you the best in new drama, poetry, and the best live music in all of Kent. If you'd like to support our humble effort, please visit our Facebook page and the donate button you'll find there. Now let's begin our broadcast day with a poem by our own Chesterfield Morris. It's a surprising little ditty about... If you'd like to hear Visitation, the play that Dr. Graves was talking about earlier in this episode, check out the Frozen Frights feed at iceboxradio.org on October 31st to hear the premiere. This has been Radio Icebox Season 3, Episode 1, Sex, Lies, and Audiotape, starring Aela Mackintosh as Abby, Cody Boyer as Cody, Douglas Skrief as Dr. Graves, Jim Yount played Sam, Scotta Turner returned as Jennifer, and introducing Beth Lowthaian as Diana, and Caleb Silvers as Nedly. Direction and post-production by Jeffrey Adams. Some sound effects from the Freesound Project at freesound.org. The song this week was by Sloghgrass, the family bluegrass band. Hear more of their great music at sloughgrass.com. Radio Icebox Season 3 is made possible in part by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, thanks to appropriations from the Minnesota State Legislature's General and Arts and Cultural Heritage Funds. We have the greatest fans in the world, but we'd like the chance to share our plays with more people, and to do that, we need your help. Sharing episode announcements on Facebook is one of the best ways for a podcast to gain new listeners. There's no advertising better than hearing about a show from a friend, so we're asking our friends to do us a small favor. As Radio Icebox launches Season 3 this week, we're asking each listener to take the following pledge. I promise to share at least 3 episodes of the IBRT on Facebook this year. That's it. This is not a fundraiser or a membership drive. It's just a request for a tiny bit of your time. When a new podcast episode drops, an announcement automatically appears on our Facebook page. Just find that announcement, hit share, and you're done. Remember, everyone's Facebook wall is different, and just because we post on our page doesn't mean your friends will see it. Share that post and your friends, which might have never heard of the IBRT, will find out about us, share the post on their walls where a new group of people will see it, and so on and so on. Please, only share episode announcements for Radio Icebox, Frozen Frights, or Tales from the Rack. Don't bother people with the standard tweets or CRISPR stuff. Episode announcements are always near the top of the feed at the Icebox Radio Theater's Facebook page or Facebook group. With your help, this will be the best season ever at Radio Icebox. Thanks for your time, and keep listening.